Using cue points in Storyline 360 is an often overlooked feature that can immediately speed up development time when synchronizing animations with your narration. The easiest way to add a cue point to a timeline is to left-click the timeline so it moves your playhead, then right-click the playhead and say Create Cue Point at Playhead. This now gives us a reference point that we can use for our timing. For example, if I want this Start Course button to show up at that cue point, I can simply drag this down. You'll see now it's got it lined up at that cue point. Or even better than that would be to right-click the object and say Align to Cue Point, and it'll snap it immediately where it needs to go. Your cue points can also be used when you're building out triggers. For example, each of the 4 objects on this slide has a pulse animation, and if we take a look at our trigger panel, you can see that each one is going to happen at its respective cue point, the first one happening at 5.5 seconds. If I change my mind about the timing, all I have to do is move this cue point down to the new time, and you'll notice it automatically updates the trigger panel so that I don't have to manually make those changes myself. If you'd like to listen to the audio narration while you add your cue points, you can do so by using the play button in the bottom left corner of your timeline. This will start your timeline moving, and as it's moving, you'll press the C key on your keyboard anytime you want a cue point to be added. So I'll press the C key here, and I'll press the C key again, and now you'll see I've added 2 cue points to my timeline without having to manually do so. Sometimes you'll find it better to have the Notes panel open, and what people will often do is open the Notes panel and then undock it. That way you can have the Notes panel open and you can read along while you're listening to the audio narration. Finally, you may run into situations where you want to delete an individual cue point, but when you right-click it, you'll notice that you only have the option to delete all cue points. The reason for this is that there's currently an object selected on the slide. To deselect the object on the slide, I typically left-click in the gray area outside of the slide, and now that I don't have anything selected, if I go back to that cue point and right-click it, I can delete that individual cue point. Hopefully this has added yet another tool to speed up your course development in Storyline 360.